which means as you go along your course of life, you can just catch in these little snippets from Bhagavad Gita and know how to apply them in the daily life. Now today we are going to be talking about shloka number 3.29. We have been talking about Karma Yoga in this chapter number 3, and Krishna has been telling Arjun why one must not renounce, give up everything if one is not really ready for it. Rather, what should one do? One should keep carrying his duties as per the scriptures, so that not only for their own upliftment, but even if they are already on the level of the Jnana Yoga, still they can be role models for other people. Now, in the previous shloka, Krishna had told that there are some people who are very much enamored or bewildered by the modes of material nature. That is, there are people who are very much in the kind of illusion under the three modes that we talked about, the Rajogun, Satogun and Tamogun, and so much under illusion that they keep carrying out their tasks thinking that they are the doers, but actually they are not the doers. The modes of the material nature are the doers, and such people are very much attached to their material activities, to their sense gratification. In this particular shloka again, Krishna is carrying out a similar theme, but in this shloka we are going to see a very special thing. Sometimes someone may not speak what is in their heart, but people who are close to that person will immediately come to understand that even if this person is not speaking out, what is there in the heart, they will come to know that this particular thing is at the base of what is he saying. Okay, so we will take up the shlok, but first the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. With this beautiful mantra, which carries within itself the gist of all Vedic knowledge, we go ahead with our shloka for today. So shloka number 3.29. It says, Prakriter guna sammudhaha sajjante guna karmasu tan akritsna vido mandan kritsna vinna vichalayet. So prakrite guna sammudha, which means those who are enamored or deluded or befooled by the modes of material nature. Sajjante guna karmasu means, sajjante means they become attached, they become entangled in the material activities. Tan akritsna vido mandan. Akritsa means those, actually krits means everything, lot of knowledge. So akritsna vidan means those who don't know much. So those who don't know much and who are lazy to understand self-realization. The kritsnavit, which means one who is in factual knowledge, should not try to agitate or vichalayet. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai, he says, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached, but the wise should not unsettle them. Although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. So here Krishna is differentiating between two kinds of people. A Krishnavid and Mandan, which means people who don't know much and who are lazy in the matters of self-realization or in the spiritual matters. And the other category, Kritsvin, which means those who have the factual knowledge, who know what is what, who are self-realized. So, in this particular shloka, Krishna is telling the Kritsvin, which means those who are the devotees, those who are the bhaktas, as to how to behave with those who are not bhaktas or who are still not walking the path of spiritual realization. So what does Krishna say? Krishna says that those who are entangled in the modes of material nature and are attached to sense gratification, attached to their material duties, you should not agitate them. Let them do what they're doing, So sometimes, you must have noticed this. When a parent is slightly agitated, or let me say, when a parent is slightly, demoralized at the behavior of a belligerent child, a foolish child who is not listening to the parent, what does the parent say? To the people who are trying to make him understand, he says, no, leave him, just leave him, it's all right, you go and do your work, don't waste your time. So Krishna is actually a little demoralized at those people who, even though so much spiritual knowledge is available in the form of shastras, in the form of sadhus, still they don't want to walk the spiritual path and don't want to go back home, back to Godhead. So he is saying to those who are devotees that leave such people, let them do what they are doing. You don't waste time, But Srila Prabhupada is going to say a very beautiful thing in the purport, that the devotees know Krishna's heart. They are listening to Krishna's words, but sometimes our words do not speak the heart out. Devotees know that Krishna is saying this, but actually Krishna wants each and every person, each and every jiva to be reclaimed and to go back to Godhead. So first let's see the purport and then we'll come to this point a little later. So Srila Prabhupada says, persons who are unknowledgeable. Now first, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about those people who are akritznavid, which means who do not understand the factual knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that those who are unknowledgeable falsely identify with gross material consciousness and are full of material designations. This body is a gift of material nature, and one who is too much attached to the bodily consciousness is called mand, or a lazy person without understanding of spirit soul. Now, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that we come across many people, who think too much of their material existence. They think that I am this body, and to keep the body fit and fine, maybe in terms of health, in terms of yoga, in terms of diet, is all in all for me, Well, of course, it is important to keep the body fit and fine by doing yoga and taking care of the nutrition, etc. But this is not the end goal, because body is but a vehicle. It's not a goal in itself. It is a vehicle that will help us reach a goal. But people who are materially engrossed, which means who are befooled by the modes of material nature, who are constantly working under the spell of Rajagun, Tamogun, Satogun, they think that I am this body and taking care of this body is the end, be all and end all of everything. And everything or everyone related to this body is my kith and kin. They are my relatives. So they have a very special attachment for such people who are attached to them by bodily relationships. They also think the place where this body is born is my, motherland, and have very, very heavy feelings of patriotism. Well, patriotic feelings are not very, very common to see these days, but there is, this sentiment at times. It sometimes comes into our heart. Oh, my motherland, I must, do something for my motherland. I must lay down my life for my motherland. My motherland is the best. All other parts of earth are just useless, So we do come across this kind of mentality. But again, let's understand that this love for your motherland, just because our body has been born in this place, is actually, not very factual. It's a very superficial way of looking at things, because we are actually souls, and this body is very temporary. In this particular birth, we are probably born in India. In the previous birth, maybe in some other country. In another birth, maybe we will be born in some other part of the land. So in every birth, the motherland changes. It's not something permanent. And those people, as Srila Prabhupada explains further, that they consider the formalities of religious rituals to be ends in themselves. We all have been following some particularly being in India, taking birth in India, because India is a very religious country. We've all seen our parents, our grandparents follow certain rituals, but no harm in following rituals. But the problem arises when we take these rituals to be an end in themselves, which means we think that conducting the ritual is the most important thing, and that's what is the end result, that's the goal. What we have to understand is, even the rituals are useless without spirituals, which means unless we are clear about the end result or the goal to be achieved by these rituals, they are not really going to help us. As His Holiness Bhakti Ashra Swami Maharaj explains, that it's not just how you apply the tilaka with the right finger, put the akshat or the rice on your forehead properly, so paying a lot of attention to the rituals of the religious ceremonies of their daily puja, for example, is important, but it is not all important, because if we do not focus on the goal to be reached, then we are defeating the purpose. Because ultimately we have to realize that we are not this body, we are the souls, we are part and parcels of Krishna, and our actual dharma is to make Krishna happy, to serve Krishna. All other rituals are to help us reach that stage of realization. So Srila Prabhupada is further explaining that such people are always busy in social work. There are many who say Manav Seva is Madhav Seva, which means you serve the humanity, means you're serving God. Well, okay, in a way, yes, better than not serving anybody, but there is a difference, because the jivas are parts and parcels of Krishna, but to directly interact with Krishna is actually the end result of spiritual realization. Also, these people consider the nationalism and altruism, sacrificing for the society, for the nation, as a very, very high-end goal. But again, as we discussed, country is ours only by relation to our body, but it has nothing to do with the soul. The soul doesn't belong to any country. The soul may take birth in any part of this planet or a lower planet if we haven't done good things in our life, or a higher planet, maybe if we have been very pious, if we have earned a lot of punyas, then we may take birth in the Swargaloka maybe, or in a higher planet still. So it really doesn't matter which country we're taking birth in this particular birth, right? So such materially designated persons who are always caught up in these designations that I am this, I belong to this caste, I belong to this country, I belong to this particular family, I belong to a very high family, high caste family. These all are material designations. These all are related just to the body. They have nothing to do with the soul. So Krishna is saying that such people are not very, very advanced in their thinking, in their spiritual understanding. So those who are knowledgeable people, who know the actuality, who know the fact, should not disturb them. Let them be. Let them slowly build up, the spiritual realization, so that eventually they can come to the platform of understanding the actual goal of life. That's how, because the Vedic knowledge is very vast, and it's also very, very, let us say, it's a very big sphere of knowledge, which helps people at whatever stage of understanding they are to slowly climb the ladder of spiritual realization. Maybe somebody is not really at a very high level, but the Vedas, the Vedic literature, gives us options to start where we are. So if we are still on the lower rung of the ladder, we can first take the first step, maybe dharma, arth, kam, moksha. We can first, take these as our goals, but slowly following regulative principles from the Vedic literatures, our understanding, our spiritual understanding will become more and more advanced until we understand the actual meaning of dharma. Dharma is a big word, it starts with the periphery. At the periphery, it starts with some non-essentials, but at the same time, these things will help us elevate to a higher level. But at the core of it, at the center, or at the very crux of it, dharma actually means to serve Krishna. All other things will slowly build up to this goal. So then Srila Prabhupada further says that better to prosecute one's own spiritual activities silently. Better you do your own work. Don't disturb them. Such bewildered persons may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life, such as non-violence and similar materially benevolent work. Now we do think of certain personalities in our life who made ahimsa or non-violence as the main goal of their life. But Srila Prabhupada is saying that this is a very primary moral principle. It's at a very basic level. We did discuss it in the first chapter that ahimsa is good. Of course, we can't say ahimsa is bad. Ahimsa is really good, being non-violent, against all living entities. But higher than ahimsa is Krishna's will. If Krishna wants hinsa to counter, adharma, then Krishna's will is more important than ahimsa. See, so ahimsa is a very primary moral principle, as Srila Prabhupada comments, and there are some other materially benevolent work one may be following. We come across people who are philanthropists, who are doing moral work like blood donations, or maybe donations of blankets or food donations. This is all good. Of course, this is all good, but this is not the highest good. The highest good is to be connected to Krishna and to serve him, and to connect everyone to Krishna and help everyone serve Krishna, so that everyone can achieve the highest good of life. Right? So men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the next line, it actually shows at what level our acharyas are. Srila Prabhupada tells, but the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord, because they understand the purpose of the Lord. They understand the heart of the Lord. They know that Krishna is speaking these words, but Krishna in his heart wants every jeev to come back to him. So even though Krishna has said this, in this particular shloka. Don't disturb them. But devotees, you will find, still go, out of the way to approach people, to ask them to give donations for, the temple or the festivals taking place in the temple, like the Janmashtami. They approach them for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You must have sometimes, seen Harinam being carried out in the streets. So the devotees make groups and loudly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and encourage everyone to chant this Mahamantra. You must have encountered more than once devotees standing on the red lights, going door to door distributing Bhagavad Gita, urging, requesting to take just one copy, so that at some point in the life you open up this book and start reading and realize what is actual dharma. There are many times, devotees are faced with very turbulent conditions, very, disturbing conditions. Sometimes, they are run over, kind of dogs being, chasing after them when they approach somebody in their houses. But all the same, they do not stop Krishna's preaching work. Devotees are so kind that they want each and every jiva to be exposed to Krishna's mercy. They want everyone to receive Krishna's mercy. They also know that if somebody starts chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, slowly they will become so purified as to realize the Param Dharam, that is the devotion to Krishna. We come across many examples, like Narad Muni, when he met Ratnakar. Ratnakar was a fierce dacoit. He used to kill people for money and loot them. And when Narad Muni met him, he asked him, go and ask your people at home, are they going to share your sinful reactions? All this pap that you're earning for your family, to feed your family, are they going to share it? So when Ratnakar goes back, his family says, no, of course not. You are doing the bad things. Why should we share your pap? That is the moment of truth for him. That is the moment of realization. He goes back to Narad Muni and he's disillusioned and he says, what should I do? So Narad Muni says, you start chanting the name of Ram. He says, I am such a sinner. I just can't bring myself to say this name that you're saying. And the devotees are so merciful. Narad Muni is so merciful. He says, okay, if you can't say Ram, say Mara and keep chanting Mara, Mara, Mara. And that's how Ratnakar, when he started chanting Mara, 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 eventually it counted as being chanted what? Ram, Ram, Ram. And this is how, Ratnakar got purified, and eventually he became famous at the great Maharishi Valmiki, who was the first one to, write the great Kavya, the great epic Ramayana. So let's appreciate how merciful devotees are. They know what's in Krishna's heart and they go out of the way. They are sacrificing their comfort to approach people, to somehow get involved in the service of Krishna. If somebody can just donate some amount to serve Krishna, if not that, if somebody can chant, if somebody can use some of his resources to serve Krishna, whatever way, devotees try to bring everyone to somehow or the other serve Krishna, and that is the mercy of the devotees. So, Srila Prabhupada ends up by saying that devotees or Krishnavin who are, aware of the factual knowledge should try to approach everyone and bring them into Krishna's service. And there how I pay my gratitude to those devotees who approached me, and eventually I got to understand what is life all about, why this human life is a gift for us to realize the ultimate goal. So please, my humble request to all of you is, please do whatever you're doing, but keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sometimes read the Bhagavad Gita at least sometimes. So let's chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So long. We will start with 3.30.